Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is John. I'm an American that's been living here in China for almost 14 years now. About 2 weeks ago, I made a video about 9 things that I learned living here in China. If you stay till the end, I'll put that video at the end of this one. You can watch that if you haven't seen it yet. In that video, somebody commented, why not make a video about things you don't like about living in China? So that's what we're gonna do today. So let's get into it. All right, so let me know about the intro. Did you like the new intro or not? If you don't like it, let me know in the comments below and I'll scrap it and I won't show it again. But if you like it, let me know and I'll include it in more videos. Anyway, let's get into this list. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I wrote down 8 things that I don't like about living here in China. Before we get into this, first of all, I'm still a little bit sick. I got sick a few days ago, caught a bad cold, and I'm almost better. My voice is still a little scratchy, so I may pause for a sip of water. I'm almost out of water. Anyway, another thing is, I want to say thanks to everybody who's been watching the videos, leaving comments and engaging with me in the comments and stuff. I really appreciate that. Shows me that you're interested in the content. You want to see more videos. And if there are videos you want to see, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make some of them videos for y'all, all right? Just like this video. So at the top of the list, this is gonna sound funny. I don't know why it sounds funny, but I literally wrote down a zoo animal. So what do I mean by zoo animal? Sometimes living in China, I do feel like a zoo animal. And the reason why I say that is because about 100 times a day, every single day for the past 13 or 14 years, I hear, Nikan, why go in? Never fails, all the time, that's all I hear. And if you don't know Chinese, that just means, look, there's a foreigner, right? I always say, look, there's a foreigner, there's a foreigner, there's a foreigner. I hear it all the time. It's so annoying. What's the big deal? I'm just a person like everybody else. Why do you have to point at me and say, there's a foreigner over there? Look, big deal, right? So it depends on who says it, how I react. Sometimes I just ignore it and pretend like I don't understand what they're saying. Sometimes like adults do it. I find it really weird when adults do it. It's like adults will tap their kid on the shoulder and be like, look, there's a foreigner over there. That's really, really annoying. When the kids do it, it's kind of more understandable because kids, they just kind of maybe like don't know any better. And they're like, oh, look, there's somebody who looks different than me. Is that a foreigner or something like that? I don't really get too annoyed with it in that time. But when like adults do it, come on, like we're adults. Why are we doing that? Right? So that's pretty annoying. I mean, it happens every single day, all the time. And sometimes if I'm really annoyed by it, then I might say something crazy. Like sometimes people will like, look, there's a foreigner. And I'll look at them and point back and I say, look, there's Chinese people. And they look confused, like, why did he say that? So like, I like to do that sometimes just to mess with people. But yeah, I get that all the time. And it's really, really annoying. So anyway, the next one on my list is gonna be the traffic. I hate the traffic in China. The traffic is, I mean, nobody likes traffic, right? I'm sure Chinese people in China probably hate the traffic too, right? So, I mean, but yeah, I hate the traffic. I absolutely hate it. But I live in a place where the public transportation isn't that great. Like for me to get to work and stuff like that, it would, I mean, not convenient at all. It's better to just drive a car. But the bad thing about the traffic here is if you're going somewhere in the work rush hour time, then fine, it's not that bad. I usually go to work pretty early. I can get to work in 10 minutes. But sometimes coming home from work, because I get off at the normal work time and it's rush hour time, I can spend 45, 50 minutes, even an hour sometimes to get home. And it only took me 10 minutes to make the exact same drive in the morning. So that's really, really frustrating, really annoying sometimes. The bad thing about that is like, here in China, you don't really have like traffic police like driving around, like watching things. It's all done by cameras. So, when you do something wrong, the camera will take your picture, but like all the GPS services and all this stuff, they all tell you where the camera is. So, where the camera is, people will do what they're supposed to do. But where the camera's not, people would do whatever they want to do, which means they don't follow the rules. But when in Rome, as they say, do as the Romans do. So I do the same thing. So I fight back by not following the rules too. Well, anyway, yeah, the traffic, really hate the traffic. Sorry guys, I'm still under the weather here. So number 3 on my list is gonna be the construction noise. Since I've been here, there's always construction going on. There's building developments, road construction. You live at, you know, in an apartment building and somebody buys an apartment and then they start doing construction. There's always noise, there's always drilling, there's always some kind of heavy equipment moving around. It's always some really noisy stuff, and it's really annoying, especially for me. You know, I get long holidays because, you know, I work in education and we have, you know, 6 weeks in the summer, 6 weeks in winter, something like that. So the time when I can actually sleep late and relax, I can't, because there's loud construction noise going on everywhere. You hear drilling and all this stuff, and it gets annoying. And then also because of the construction noise, it usually creates a lot of like dust and stuff like that. So, you know, if you leave your windows open or something like that at your house and there's construction going on near your house, you get dust everywhere. Clean your car, it's dirty the very next day because there's always construction going on. So it gets kind of annoying, just the massive construction going on all over the place. That it gets really annoying sometimes. And yeah, I don't like that part. Number 4. Okay, number 4 is gonna be the banking structure, or the whole banking financial system, dealing with finances in China. As a foreigner, it's very difficult. You know, if I want to get money out of the country to send home to my family or to pay some kind of bill or something like that in America, it's extremely difficult to get the money out of China. It's not easy at all. Sometimes it requires sitting in the bank for 4, 5, 6 hours to fill out paperwork and do all this stuff. And you need like mountains of paperwork, mountains of documents, and you might sit there for 4 hours and then they're like, oh, but you're missing this document. So you just wasted 4 hours of your life. You got to go track the document down, come back again another day, spend another 4 or 6 hours. And because you have to spend so long in the bank to do these kind of things, you know, the bank's only open during the same hours that you work at your job. So you have to take off work and miss a day of work, which means you miss a day's pay and you waste the whole day sitting in a bank. So it's really, really annoying, really frustrating. And then on top of that, when it comes to the banking, for us foreigners, they have some strict limits on our cards oftentimes. Like for example, my bank, they had a limit on my card for like 10,000 RMB. If I spent more than 10,000 in one day, they would block my card. So if I want to make like a bigger purchase, say I wanted to buy something, I would have to go to the bank and even ask them to, like, you know, give me my money. I need to like buy something that's expensive. Like, well, what are you gonna buy? And I'm like, just give me my money. It doesn't matter what I'm gonna buy. And you have to go through all this crap. Like I bought a car, you know, a while back. Well, I've had a lot of cars, but I bought like a new one a while back. It's quite expensive. They're like, you know, why do you want this money? And I said, because I want to buy a car. And they're like, but why do you want this car? I was like, just give me my money. It's my money. I earned it. My work put it in the bank. Give me the money so I can go buy what I want to buy. And it's really frustrating to have to deal with all this kind of stuff. Really annoying. Yeah, that's the banking here. It's not good. They need to come up with a better banking method to deal with foreigners and, you know, getting money in and out of the country and things like that. Because we have bills to pay and things like that to take care of in our home, like families and stuff like that. Your mom, dad, and stuff like that. And you can't get any money out. It's so difficult. So hopefully they'll find a way to fix that in the future. I don't know, but yeah, I don't like that part. So next, we got number 5, right? Number 5. So number 5 is gonna be about the food, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, I love Chinese food. I eat Chinese food almost every single day, at least one meal every single day. So I really do like Chinese food, but there's one thing that I don't like about Chinese food, and I find it very annoying, and that is like, it's with the bones. Like, if you're a Chinese person, you're watching this, comment below, let me know, what's the deal with the way they chop the bones, all right? All right, if you're a Chinese person, let me know. If you've never been to China or don't know, you know, the way we do things, you know, you have an animal and you cut the meat off the bone and you cook the meat, or you cook it and then cut off the bone, whatever, right? But you cut off the bone. Or if you are gonna have a bone, then you usually have like a big bone, like a chicken leg, for example. Like you have like a big bone and it's easy to get the meat off the bone. But for some reason, every time I eat at any restaurant in China, it's like there's some cook, some dude in the back, and he's got this big ass knife and it's super sharp. And it's like they just throw the dead animal on the table and they just like randomly just chop at it all crazy. And now you have these bones and they're cut in like all different directions and sharp points on them everywhere. and then you go to like bite into something, and just like some sharp bone will stab you in the mouth, or will stab you in the tongue or something like that, and you bite into this bone, and it's really painful. So you like really have to like really pay close attention to what you're eating. Like, you know, like you really have to like examine what you're eating, because they might have this crazy bones in it. If not, you just start eating stuff like, you know, just not paying attention, just eat and eat and eat, and next thing you know, you bite down on one of these bones and it hurts, and then you just ruin your whole meal. So what's with the bones, guys? Tell me in the comments below, tell me about the bones. Why they just be chopping the bones in all the direction instead of just like a normal way? I don't get it. You know, that's kind of annoying. But other than that, the food is wonderful. Let's move on to number 6, all right? Number 6, yeah, number 6. Everybody said, oh, you did the number 6. Yeah, I count so much in Chinese, I can't even hardly count in English anymore, to be honest with you. So I get used to all of the hand gestures and stuff. So anyway, number 6, I'm gonna talk about being treated like I'm stupid, right? And it happens all the time. Like, I feel like I'm being treated like I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not, but I feel that way. And like, for example, you know, like I said earlier, I drive a car, and sometimes like when people see that I drive a car, like let's say if I pull up at a shopping mall, park my car, and I get out, and people say, oh, look, the foreigner can drive a car. It's like, you think I'm too stupid to drive a car? I don't know how to drive? Like, what? You think it takes like a special person to learn how to drive a car? You know, like something like that. It's just ridiculous. You know, there's so many things like this. It's just like you kind of get treated, I feel like you're stupid. Like, I go to a restaurant, or like say I go to a fast food place, for example. Say I go to McDonald's or KFC or something, which I very rarely go to those places anyway, but any restaurant, it doesn't matter. I go to a Chinese restaurant, I'll go there to, you know, ready to place the order, and the person behind the counter will just look at me, and then they'll start laughing, and then they'll go away, and there's just nobody standing there, and I'm standing there like, what the hell? Like, why did you leave, you know? And then they'll come back with another person to come over, like the boss or manager or something like that. They'll come over and they'll be like, I'm sorry. And I'll say, sorry for what? And they just say, I'm sorry. And then I tell them in Chinese, you know, 我想点菜，可以吗? And they say, oh, you can speak Chinese. Yeah, a little bit. I can speak enough to order my food, you know? You think just because I'm a foreigner it means I don't know anything? Like this, I just feel like it's kind of stupid. Like, why do you treat people like they don't know anything? Like, why not at least like make an attempt to see if they know or not, instead of just automatically assuming that somebody doesn't know something? Like, why make assumptions, right? At least say something first and then see how they respond, and then you can react based on that, instead of just automatically assuming all foreigners don't know Chinese, or foreigners can't drive a car, or foreigners don't know how to do this or don't know how to do that, right? We're not all stupid. We can do things, okay? So, you know, some of those things gets really annoying when people treat you that way or make some type of assumption to you like that. I find it kind of frustrating. So, yeah, that's really annoying. And then, all right, we're on to number 7. We're almost done. There's 2 more left. Number 7 is gonna be the work culture. I find it to be quite annoying at times. I've worked several different jobs, well, not several, but a few. I worked for a Hong Kong company. It was great. And my current boss is, I don't want to say where he's from. He's from mainland China, but I'm gonna say where from in China. But oh my God, the management at my current place, for me, it's not all that bad. I feel like the Chinese employees or my Chinese workmates have it a lot worse than I do. And I feel like they deserve better than the treatment they get. Because these people, you know, they get like a certain salary, and their contract, you know, will have the working hours stuff just like mine does. And when they try to say like, oh, you got to do this to do that, I'm like, hey, my contract says something different. I ain't doing that unless you're paying me. If you paying me overtime, I'll stay and work. And they say, no, it's not paid. See ya. I'll go home. The Chinese people that I work with don't really have the luxury of doing that, or they don't feel they do it, or they're scared to do that. They kind of get forced into working so much extra work, and they don't get paid for it or compensated for it, and you know, in a reasonable way. And so they may end up working, you know, 60 hours a week. Some of these girls I work with, they start work at 7 in the morning and they don't finish work until 11 at night. And then they go back to the room, take a shower, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. And they have no time to rest or relax. And then they end up working on the weekend as well. And I feel really sorry for them girls. It's not a nice environment, because what happens is everybody is tired and frustrated, and now you have to work with a bunch of people who are tired and frustrated, and it just kills the morale in the company, and everybody is like, nobody's happy, right? You know, when I worked in other Hong Kong company, everybody was fresh, you know. I mean, they're mainland Chinese people were working for Hong Kong company, and you know, we come to work, everybody's fresh, and it's like, hey, you know, hey, how are you, whatever, good morning, blah blah. Under the current work environment, people are just like, they just generally not happy, and it's really just demotivating. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, and then so it brings me to the final point that I want to talk about today, which I don't know if I should talk about this or not, but I will anyway. But I think a lot of Chinese people, I can't assume that they may not know this, so but I'll put it out there. But number 8 is going to be the private education sector. So we're talking like private schools, and I would say schools more so than like kindergartens or something. Like private school, like your primary, middle school, high school. The private ones, they can, how to say that, a lot of it's fake. Okay, let's just put it that way. It's fake. It's fake education. They put strict rules and regulations on the whole grading scale or grading structure, and the things that you can and cannot do, if that makes sense. So to give you an example, you know, I know a school, I don't want to name any businesses or something like that, but I do know schools that, like, they say like, okay, the lowest grade you're allowed to give is like a B or a B minus. So you're not allowed to give a student a grade lower than a B minus. So if this kid sits on his butt and does nothing, studies nothing, and plays and does what he wants and does zero work and learns absolutely nothing and takes a test and gets nothing on the test, or just like 5 or 10 points on the test, you still have to give this kid a B minus. And I asked, you know, why is that? Why can't you just like tell the parents that this kid is playing and doing all this stuff and not paying attention, not studying, his grades are low because of that? They said, no, we can't do that because the parents won't be happy. And the parents, you know, they won't pay money for the kids to come to school here. If they think the kids are not doing good, they'll send them to the public school, which I think the public school is probably better suited because it's more realistic, because they're gonna do all the things to help, you know, guide the students to do all these exams that they must take to, you know, the college entrance exams, all this stuff. Whereas the private schools, they still do that, but they don't do it at such a high standard because, you know, some of the kids are getting really low grades, but the parents aren't aware of the grades are being so low. And then when it comes time for the kid to take the entrance examination or something like that, and they basically just fail it or can't even get a passing grade, and then the parents will be like, what happened? I thought my kid was like a B student. Why do they get like a D on their grades? And so I think it's really hurting the children more than it's helping them, right? You're just helping the parents' ego think that their kids are doing good and getting the money, but the kids aren't benefiting, which the whole purpose of education is for the kids to benefit, not to make money, right? So I really dislike that situation in China when it comes to some of the private educational institutions, specifically primary, middle, and high schools. I think the kindergartens are a little bit different because the kindergartens genuinely tend to care more about the kids' education and tend to nurture the students more. But for the other levels, if you're a Chinese person, be very leery what's going on in your child's school, and really do your due diligence, do your homework on that particular place, because just because that place has a great name doesn't mean that their education is actually that great. So keep that in mind. So anyway, that's the things that I want to talk to y'all about, the things I dislike about living here in China. And over here, there should be a video. If you haven't seen it yet, watch that video. And I hope it's over here. Maybe it might be over here. Somewhere over here, there's a video. Watch it, like, subscribe. See you next time.